Hello, Earthlings, and welcome back to the Thundering Dice channel with your boys, the Thundering Dice Brothers. And today, you would expect us to talk about how the Broncos locked up the #1 in the AFC, but that's exactly what we won't do, because that's what you would expect us to do. Instead, we're going to talk about, what, the Acolyte, maybe? I don't know. It's a game stream of consciousness, boys and girls. You all know what that means. We don't really know what we're going to talk about, where it's going to go, or even how long we're going to survive and be able to keep up the flow of conversation. So, with that being said, it's already getting stumbly. Ian, you take over.
Seriously, what was that? Did you just have an attack of zombies where the stream of consciousness was very much shut off and you did become a stumbling block? No, it almost sounded like I had a little lag.
I'm going to call that the effect of Durban poison.
Ooh, okay. All right.
And I think what we can do is just re-record that intro. It'll be fine. It's the beginning.
If we do, why not?
Yeah.
If we don't, well then everyone is doomed to a life of inconsistency and blocky stumbling blocks. But
But the Broncos are #1 in the AFC West. Let's at least give them, or not just in the AFC West, in fact, in the NFL. First round bye, #1 seed. Let's at least give them an pro. Good job, boys. And I can't wait to not have to play in the first week of the playoffs.
Oh yeah, definitely. That will be extremely nice. But on the flip side, I mean, like, the dangerous thing about the bye is the lack of rhythm. So, it always is like you're really hoping that the team is coming out of the gate on full combat mode out of that bye. So, I mean, like, it'll be nice to be rested. I just hope that, like, it doesn't kind of, like, screw us over in that respect.
I suppose on one hand, we absolutely needed it, though. We've got some injured players that need this time off, so between the possibility of coming out rusty and the necessity of having to play an extra game, I think we're overthinking it.
Yeah. And then, but then also, like, this is the first time in many years where the playoffs actually matter to the Broncos, and we are feeling like we have a good shot because we have a great record. The team is shaping up to be something special looking so. This is the first time since basically, I mean, in 10 years, yeah, it's the first time in 10 years that I'm feeling a lot more apprehensive about the playoffs. Because if we, if we're out on our first game, a one and done on the playoffs, like, I know it's only Bo Nix's second year and we're still a relatively young team and we shouldn't necessarily have our sights 100% set on the Super Bowl, but it's impossible not to hope when you're in this situation. But this is the first time in a long time that the playoffs matter, and goddamn, it's going to make every single game so much more intense.
Because instead of, last year when we went to the playoffs, it was sort of, wow, we made it, and we kind of squeaked in, and we're going to play the Bills, and everybody knew that we were not going to do well. Oh, crap, I did not expect to get flanked there by a zombie from behind. Where the hell did he come from? Oh, from your side. Letting the side down, my friend. Oh, geez, balls.
I figured I was going to die.
We're doing well here.
It's the first game stream of the year, It's meant to be a little weird, a little rusty. We're not quite sure what's going on. Just think about it this way. We're basically just unsure if the U.S. is going to drone strike us or not. Because apparently we have now relocated to Venezuela in this situation.
We have amazingly stable power. Actually, no, we don't have very stable power for what's going on. We've had like 5 power outages in the last week.
Cyber attacks.
Yep.
War is coming, my friends. It's time to arm yourselves with the Smith & Wesson and find a roadblock. Protect the country.
Oh, it's round 4. Let's get the fudge out of here.
Yeah, I know.
Find a roadblock. Protect the country. Patrol like Jesse Plemons in Civil War. What kind of an American are you?
Yeah.
That'll be fun. Sorry, guys. We're diverting from a lighthearted game stream to, oh no, it's World War III.
Yeah. Well, it's a game stream of consciousness for a reason.
Maybe we can have World War III zombie apocalypse like Nazis. That'll be kind of fun. And we can play this game, but in familiar places that we actually live and exist in right now, in real life.
The World War III zombie, like Nazi zombies itself, would be weird because, like, why are the zombies in World War III Nazis?
Oh, because the Nazis inhabit the White House. I mean, maybe. Ostensibly.
Their uniforms aren't nice enough.
Oh yeah, they don't have Hugo Boss on their side this time to design their stuff. You're right.
And our dear leader needs to lose a few pounds before he looks as good as in a military outfit as a certain person with a horrible mustache did.
Stephen Miller's working pretty well for the Nazi chic look, though. Especially for being a Jew.
Dude, this is supposed to be our non-political channel. Jesus Christ.
I know.
Holy fuck. And if anyone wants to have some political commentary, scuttle over to our other channel that we haven't posted on for way too long to get some out of date and out of context political topic. Yeah, we'll get around to it, guys. There's just so much shit to cover, and it's the new year, you know. There's everything to reevaluate and recircumvent, and you know, moving into a $1 million McMansion takes a lot of effort, and yeah, you know how it is, you guys.
So moving on to something that is actually genuinely lighthearted. Yay Broncos. I'm excited to watch them go kick some ass in a couple weeks. Probably against the Chargers. Maybe against the Bills. Not against the Patriots.
No. I want the Patriots to be knocked out first round.
I think we can take them, but anyway.
Well, no. It's not because I don't think we can take them. I just want the Patriots knocked out first round because fuck the Patriots.
I think it'd be interesting to see the Chargers again. That's why that last game was so vanilla.
Yeah, because we were holding everything fast to the chest. It was all about like just win the game, secure the first round bye, don't injure as few players as possible. That's great. I got a dog that was frozen in time.
I saw that too. Yeah,
that was nice. Yeah, like just steady game plan. Don't reveal anything. Just as relaxing as and as mundane as a game. You're right. I mean, like, it was so boring to watch.
And we still technically blew them out. 16 points is a huge lead. Everyone like wants the score to be like 36-0 every single game, like it was 2013. Well, 2013 was fun until it suddenly wasn't. So I'd rather it be a bit more gritty and hard to take, and maybe more cardiac and crisis-inducing.
Yeah, play smart, not wildly for that last game.
Yeah. Ooh. Wunderwaffe.
Ooh, nice. Way better than the Spaz 12. I mean, I'm not hunting Velociraptors here, so it's only
that
zombies.
Didn't work very well either for him.
Well, he actually never fired a shot, so we don't really know. Because technically, the Velociraptors are just too smart for him. He might have been able to concoct a good enough... Oh, for fucking A, a Dragonoff. Yeah, he might have been able to get a good killing field off had he been in like the right location.
And I don't know really why he was going after the Raptors, right? I mean, he could have just gone with
her. I think Maldu. Oh no, not Maldu.
With Ellie.
Yeah. I think
Dr.
he was
Sadler.
trying to give her the best chance. Was like, there's no way in hell we're both making it to that gate, so I will basically draw their fire because I'm the man and protector and hunter, and you are the scientist with the knowledge base, and you need to do something, and I'm expendable, so I will chase the prey and become prey, and hope that you make it out and, survive. Though how the fucking Velociraptor...
to that end it kind of worked, but I don't know why the Velociraptors would all, like, just pick on him. He's obviously larger, and, I don't know, they're smart enough to have known about him for a while. If they're that smart, they'll probably be accustomed to him. And
yeah, he is, like, the gameskeeper or some shit like that, whatever title they give
And as the
him,
gameskeeper, I don't know, he just seems like he wasn't very well thought out. I don't know, he would know the tendencies of the Velociraptors better, you would think. We're probably looking too much into it.
Which actually might mean he was resigned to this, being like, this is the only chance for for one of us to live. One of us has to pretend to try to hunt the Velociraptors, and the Velociraptors will see what I'm doing, and they'll be more interested in me because I am bigger, so there's like slightly more meat. Whilst you run away. But you are right, though. They could have just easily... Because, I mean, like, they have super intelligence. They know how to fucking use a door latch, for fuck's sake. I mean, the only thing they're fooled at is the reflection in the polished steel in the kitchen. That's, like, the only thing that ever fools them. Everything else, they're practically geniuses at. I mean, if Velociraptors... Whoa. If Velociraptors were fucking, just given a little more time and had not supposable thumbs.
Opposable thumbs.
Yeah, opposable thumbs. They might have very.
No. Oh man, I almost had you. Damn.
Yeah. Well, as you said, it's a warm-up round.
But yeah, if they had opposable thumbs, and if what is that thing we heard?
Asteroid
if
or God, depending on which way you want to look at it.
If frogs had wings, they wouldn't have to hop. Thanks, Red Foreman.
Yeah, that's true. They wouldn't have to hop, but they would still suck.
Do frogs suck? I didn't know frogs sucked.
Dude, the only thing cool about frogs is that some of them are poisonous.
Unless you're talking about the French.
Well, yeah, but the French are just bastards.
How
They
rude.
didn't support us in World War II. We should never support them in any of their efforts. Just ask any person who grew up in Tunisia. They'll tell you how wonderful the French are.
No, I think you could just spin in a circle in the middle of Europe and point and be like, they fucked something over somewhere.
No, I'm sorry. The Scottish never fucked anyone over.
I mean, I'm trying to think. I guess Scotland specifically by itself didn't have, like, you can't say the Scottish imperialists or whatever, or the Scottish invaders, but the sort of the UK, there are plenty of Scotsmen who were conscripted or who fought in Her Majesty's colonial empire.
But you could make a case though about after Edward the First about being, because like he was like the first Scotsman on the throne, and by extension you can quasi lay all the horrors that followed after in that line slightly on Scotland. And if it wasn't for Scotland and the engineering prowess that we possess and our innovation, basically everything in the world wouldn't exist.
Okay. I'll buy that. So let's go ahead and we can also blame Scotland for a lot of things then, right?
Theoretically, yes.
Okay.
You can blame Scotland for every tragedy the SAS ever unfolded. You can blame Scotland for everything that happened with the phone, because Alexander Graham Bell was a frickin' ham and decided to create a great piece of technology that we ruined really quickly. You can blame Scotland for golf. You can't blame Scotland for haggis.
Okay, so because we can blame Scotland for golf, and because Trump has golf courses there and loves to golf, somehow by like the third power of baconism or something, Scotland is responsible for Trumpism.
In part, yes. Why not?
Yes. Just can't stay away from it.
Yeah, no, we can. It's just like, once again, like a non sequitur. All right, no, fuck it. I'm gonna start talking about the Acolyte now.
Yes, please do. So, context, guys. I would say I know more about Star Trek than Star Wars as a blanket statement. I think that's true, right?
Yes.
So to that end, I haven't seen a lot of the, let's say the ancillaries, the side stories about Star Wars, excuse me. I haven't seen The Mandalorian, and I haven't watched a bunch of the cartoon stuff, and I didn't really care for the prequels all that much. And I haven't seen most modern stuff, so Ian gets to inform me on what's going on with the Acolyte.
Yeah, and obviously a little late because this show came out like a year ago.
Yeah,
but
no one ever accused us of being on time for anything.
No, that's true. The only thing we've been on time for is season 3 of Wheel of Time.
And we know how that turned out. So sorry, Acolyte. This probably means that you're not going to get renewed.
Oh, no, it didn't.
Oh, well, that's probably our fault then, too, somehow.
Yeah, somehow, totally. I mean, it's a... Alright, so, like, it takes place 100 years before the events of episodes 4, 5,
spidery little bastard.
or episodes 1, 2, and 3. Oh, behind you.
No, I did not make it over.
Oh, yeah, I saw that jump, and I was like, I wonder if that's gonna work out.
Oh, that was a poor showing right there.
Yeah, it was. We'll redo
Alright,
that.
let's try that again.
Yeah, round 3 that was pretty atrocious.
Oh, thanks for sticking with us, guys. This is not our most polished stream of consciousness, if you can call any stream of consciousness polished.
I think you can call most of ours relatively polished. I mean, they might jump around a lot and change vectors relatively quickly. But I never got the feeling whilst timestamping or anything that our talk is so non sequitur that the audience couldn't follow. And we've never got a comment be like, what the fuck was this, guys? Like, I have no idea. I've watched you maybe for like one video, and this is the most confusing thing I've ever seen.
Hey, speaking of which, make sure you go down and like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us your opinions about the nonsense that we spout, because without engagement, it's just us yelling into the void, and it gets lonely, guys. So, you know, do
Yes,
that
it
thing
does.
you do so well, and rage, internet.
Rage against the dying of the culture.
Because
Star
now Ian's
Wars.
going to tell us why the Acolyte is either good or bad or indifferent, and that should at least spark someone's opinion somewhere.
Yeah, okay, well, I can't say that the Acolyte is good or bad. Like, I mean, I can point at specific aspects of the show that are either good or bad. But, like, as a whole, if you're not a Star Wars nerd, let's put it this way, and I mean, when I mean nerd, like, you've watched everything that you can basically watch through Disney that they have given you. You have read a decent amount of comics. You follow a decent amount of lore of Star Wars YouTubers. You are looking forward to the Kenobi movie getting revamped by a few fans online on YouTube, going through every VXR shot still by still, and now I've almost gotten up to 800. If you guys know who I'm talking about, let me know in the comments, and if you don't, find him, because you will love it when the movie comes out. I'll tell you about this later, bro.
Roger that. I was like, I'm lost.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, this is when I say, like if you're a nerd, like, this is, like, the type of level of nerddom. You have to have read a decent amount of comics. You have to have read probably at least a few of the Star Wars books. If you haven't read the Darth Plagueis trilogy, I definitely suggest you do it.
So this is not for me, then, is what you're saying.
Well,
This
not
show
necessarily. Well,
is
no,
not
well,
made
okay,
for
no, no.
me.
But whoa, let me flip this around though, because I showed it to our, good parents in the old folks' home, and they rather enjoyed it. So, and they don't know any of this shit. I mean, I have to give them a little filling in about certain things that are going on and why I find it cool and the interesting parts of it. So, like, it's like, I'll let you decide after I'm done talking. So, Acolyte takes place 100 years before episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then obviously basically 140 something years before episodes 4, 5, and 6, because there's like a 40-year gap between episodes 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 5, and 6. If anyone really cares about that, Anakin spends 22 years in the light side and spends 22 years in the dark side. Nice and symmetrical there. But going back to the Acolyte, so yeah, you start out 100 years before this, when the Order is still relatively strong. The Clone Wars have yet to unfold. Plagueis has yet to meet Sidious, or Sheev Palpatine, if you want to go by his mundane name. Or actually, if you want to go by their mundane names, Ego Damask has yet to meet Sheev Palpatine. Now I'm going a little, like, nerdy. So Plagueis is the Dark Lord, and you have this fruitcake called the Stranger, because he's not actually ever given a name, unless you want to take the drinker's name, and he just calls him Cut Rate Ezra Miller. Which... Ezra Miller. Which is a little unfair in my mind.
Wait, isn't Ezra Miller the guy who played
the
Flash?
dude who got in a buttload of legal trouble like 4 or 5 years ago for like, creating a cult and allegedly kidnapping a teenager and getting drunk and breaking into some people's house and, doing other buttload of funky shit, and also just kind of being a prima donna on set. Really weird, little overzealous in his own, I don't know, everything. The dude is a fruitcake, basically.
Alright, roger that. Let's go through these doors.
Right. Shit, I know. I just got to the Stranger, but like, where the fuck was I going? Okay, yeah, so like, the show takes place around two twins, Osha and May, who are, by circumstance, split up at a very young age. So Osha goes to train with the Jedi to become a Jedi, obviously, And then May basically finds her way to the stranger to become a Sith apprentice, sort of, but not in like a good way, because the stranger, or whatever his name,
sounds about right. I mean, I don't think Sith are generally considered like good things.
Well, no, okay, yeah, but like, there seems to be like a lack of training from the stranger onto May. Like, it's I really don't know exactly what the idea with him, like what he was supposed to be teaching her, or like why she's. Oh, goddamn it, goddamn, fucking ballistics knife.
Oh crap!
All right, so basically, one of the sisters gets like framed for the assassination of a Jedi, and like the show opens with that fight scene, and you get to see Carrie-Anne Moss fight May in a kind of ridiculous fight scene where May is trying to take out the Jedi with buttload of throwing knives, essentially, and succeeds. Now, a lot of people... Oh, god damn it. I just said I don't have a good gun either. A lot of people were actually kind of like mad about that scene, like, well, how did she take out a Jedi with just knives and things like that? Like, May does use a little subterfuge where she attacks the barkeeper, and then Trinity has to stop.
Trinity.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember her name in the show right now, so I'm just calling her Trinity because everyone knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Then. So the Trinity has to stop the blade from going into the barkeeper with the Force, and whilst that's happening, May then throws another blade into Trinity's chest cavity, pretty much where the heart would be, and that kills her. I sort of understand why people didn't like that scene, because, like, I mean, one stab wound is usually not fatal, and those knives were, like, are definitely long enough to reach the heart, but you're throwing it, and I mean, like, yeah, I know you got force enhancement and shit like that, but you don't really see, like, the blade going faster than the way a human could throw it, so the fact that it penetrates the chest cavity and hits the heart perfectly, and the fact that she dies within 5 seconds of the blade puncturing her chest, you know,
I was thinking, like, if you use the Force, it's one of those things that you don't, like, if you threw a knife quickly, normally, you know, it would start to slow down the instant it hit the flesh, and it would slow down, and it wouldn't go as far. But if you use the Force, you could continue the pushing part of it with exactly the same force, so it'd be like going up to somebody and slowly pushing a knife into them. You don't need to do fast.
True, but you never see her use the Force, and you just see the throwing motion, and you just assume that it's like a one natural throwing movement, and that's what's gotten her to, to kill.
You should try the boss.
The Jedi. I will.
Okay, gotcha.
So like,
it's probably a small detail, though. It's not really.
It is a small detail. It's
overall
not like
scope of the show.
Fuck me. Goddamn crossbow.
Jeez.
Wow. Alright, you're gonna be doing all the heavy lifting until I get a fucking thing, because this is just bad. Alright, so basically, May kills a Jedi, and then
Here, I'm gonna open this up so we can get the SCG-44 when you have some savings.
Money. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
this would be a great time to be able to share.
Right? Like, why doesn't fucking Zombies allow sharing of points? It's kind of gay. Like, give me some of yours.
Right.
I'm a communist. I want it. It's mine! Children from the 80s, they were given everything. And what did they do? They came back for more. Alright, so, okay, but like, so Trinity dies at the very beginning scene by May's hand. The bartender then, like, reports this to the Jedi. The Jedi then go find May's sister, who is on a cruiser somewhere. You don't actually really know how far away she is from the planet where the murder happened, but you can basically assume that within a day's time travel, she wasn't the one who did it, but the Jedi are really stupid in this show. So they arrest her.
That's annoying. I hate when they do that.
Yeah. So they arrest her, put her on a prison transport instead of taking her back.
Oh, that was foolish of me.
Yeah, this is bad now. Okay. How am I gonna do this? Alright, this is a test of the fluidity of my new monitor, everyone. Let's see how well 180 frames per second garners me some sympathy with these zombies. I think I'm just gonna leave you to die. Because, like, there's just no way. I mean, the fucking crossbow is just impossible to do this with. Bloody hell. And since it's so early, and you definitely have, I mean, you don't have any Juggernaut yet, no, you don't, so you're not losing anything.
Except for the only person with the gun.
Oh, that's true. Well, fuck it. Let me try to run back and see if I can get you.
But I do have enough money to buy something.
You are pretty red, but I think I might be able to get
probably
you.
don't. Nope, I'm dead. Don't try. I'm dead.
Yeah, well, now I'm back where you are. Alright, so then they put her on a prison transport instead of taking her directly to Coruscant. Like a Jedi and his Padawan show up to arrest her and then put her on a prison transport after she's allegedly killed a Jedi Master. Instead of taking her in their custody to Coruscant, they leave her in the custody of a fucking droid. So it makes no sense. So then there's the obvious escape because the story needs to happen. She survives a physical impact from orbit down to the planet because her ship crashes for a good reason, you know, because like that just has to happen. So she's able to survive the actual physical impact of crash landing on a planet from space because, you know, spaceships are that fucking strong. Like, I know they can travel faster than light and all that other type of bollocks, but that type of physical fall and impact is gonna fuck you up no matter what.
Physics is physics.
Yeah, exactly. So she fucking survives that, which is really, 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 really gay. I mean, like, it really does piss me off. And then, main Asian Jedi who trained her originally, it's the dude who plays the main Asian dude in Squid Games. Dude cannot act to save his life. I mean, like, I haven't watched Squid Games, so I don't know if he's, like, way better in Squid Games, but his portrayal of a fucking Jedi is, like, the most wooden, hollow, rigid, weird feeling, unemotional, contrived performance you've ever freaking seen. Like, it is just bad. Like, it's painful to watch him. Ooh, let me get the SGG now, because I finally have enough. So he finally enters the show to go pick up Osha, because he's like, I know that she didn't do this, something else must be happening. And then, I'm not going to go scene through scene, because it's already just getting tedious. So like, all roads finally reunite, like, all these people reunite. Asian dude convinces everyone that Osha didn't kill Trinity. Meanwhile, other sister is going around to kill because she has a murder list of 4 Jedi that she wants to die. Well, she wants to kill. So she's going around trying to kill the other Jedi. There's some real stupid bullshit about, like, how that happens. Like, her master says, like, you must kill a Jedi without weapon. But doesn't tell her what that means, which is, like, kind of what I mean. Like he's, like, a really shitty teacher. Because, like, and I'm not even sure if she's actually been taught anything, because
you must kill a Jedi without a weapon. Like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Instead, because I'm like, we know what that means. Well, I mean, like, I don't know if you know what that means, but, like, when I heard that phrase, I was like, okay, you want, yeah, well, that or choking them out. You want
or you can
May
just
to kill,
break her neck, or, you know, lots of physical ways to kill somebody that don't involve a weapon.
Well, no, yeah, but specifically means
to death with your fist.
In the Force. Yeah, no, but it specifically means yeah, exactly. So, wait, I'm drinking coffee now. So he's so she's meant to kill someone, meant to kill the Jedi without using a weapon. She fails multiple times, and it's kind of annoying. And also, like, since the fact that she's never told that, yeah, you like, when I say don't, like, use a weapon, I mean use the Force. Like, he just puts it in a cryptic way.
Oh, so she doesn't even pick up on that.
No, she doesn't pick up on that. Like, the entire season, she's trying to figure out who, because, like, she has a, you know, like, the cut rate Ezra Miller is her friend.
Who's why do you call him Cut Rate? Like, do they just look kind of like him?
Well, no, because I just watched the Drinker's fucking criticism of this show. So, like, so his, like, and I don't remember his name, so every time and he kind of does look like Ezra Miller, but, like, a better version of it. Or a better version of it, and less, you know, asshole and potentially kidnappy.
Okay, because Cut Rate is like Walmart version.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he's not. No. He does a fine performance. Oh, okay, fine. He's cut. That's what he is. He's cut. Like, I mean, like, the dude, like, he's got. Yeah, he's ripped. He
this
definitely
Malacca is ripped.
Definitely spent a lot of time in the gym. So she is trying to figure out, like, what the stranger means by using, you know, without using a weapon. and he's kind of like trying to like help her figure it out. So at one point he makes a poison for her because one of the Jedi has been, you know, it's called the Barash vows or something like that, and it's some weird atonement thing. I'm not actually really sure what it means. It could just be that they just made it up for this show, which is pretty on par. So he's just basically secluded in a monastery and meditating for the last 10 years because he's atoning for his sins. So she wants to kill, you know, that one, but she can't because there's like this force field and like this actual like a force field surrounding him. So she can't get close. So then, you know, she gets Asian dude to make a poison for her, and then she goes back to that Jedi and says, like, you know, if you can tell the High Council your sins, or you can get absolution from me right here, and then puts the vial of poison in front of him. He then wakes up and drinks it, and killing himself, and like it really makes no sense, like the motivation.
Absolution.
Like, yeah.
Like, what sins did he think that he had committed that he needed absolution for?
Yeah, exactly. So like you have,
and was the implication that that was going to kill him? Did he know that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. He knew it was going to kill him. So you're left kind of wondering about that shit. So when that dude dies, like the other twin, Osha, stumbles up on his corpse at the right time, and then some of the other Jedi are like, or at least one of the other Jedi is like, you killed him, but then another Jedi was following her, so then that clears her name. It's a boatload of like contrived shit just to keep the story going. And then after May kills that Jedi, they decide to stay on planet way too long, and then the Jedi find her. Find her.
God damn it! I hate going in there trying. I have to wait. I guess too many zombies coming through there.
Shit.
Oh, damn it! Yep. Perfect.
Yeah, I know, right? How many downs do I have? 3. Yikes. That's like a 2-to-1 death.
Well, it's because you're trying to like tell a story.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
I'm just like
that's hard.
Yeah,
to do.
I'm bombing out. All right. Well, So then so then second Jedi on her list dies. They then May and Asian person then go to another planet to find the third Jedi that she wants to kill.
I should not have tried to come get you.
Ooh,
I got totally like smushed in that hallway.
Yeah. Honestly, whilst trying to explain the plot,
You're realizing that it's really
well,
complicated.
no. Not that. No. I already knew because like the first 5 episodes are pretty boring. I mean, like episodes 4. Yeah, we're just doing Kino then. Episode 4 is like that's when the shit starts getting good, and then episodes 5, 6, and 6, 7, and 8. 6, 7, and 8. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's episodes 5. I mean, is really good, and then episodes 6, 7, and 8 are like where everything kind of comes to a head. Like the show really does meander on way too long. There are way too many contrivances about like how the story happens. People are pretty fucking stupid in this respect. Like things happen because the story needs them to happen for the first 5 episodes, like specifically.
So when we say that, like, do you mean it just doesn't make real sense for them to happen? They seem to happen individually, not like there's a build up to an event that's inevitable. It happens, and you get the feeling that, okay, if these things didn't happen, then there wouldn't be a story. But
I mean, to a certain degree, like,
because how do you circumvent that?
There is a through line from like point of Osha and May's story beginning to the end of season 1. Like there is a point A to point Z line here, but somewhere around like F to Q, the alphabet becomes really fuzzy and starts changing letters, and you're not like you get what is going on, but you're also like really questioning like the fact that like they put Osha on a prison transport with a security droid instead of taking her back to Coruscant to the Jedi Temple themselves. Like, why would a Jedi Knight relinquish their prisoner who is accused of killing a Jedi Master? Like, this is not something you leave in the hands of a droid. This is something you leave in the hands of a Force wielder because a droid is obviously not equipped.
And I've seen the prequel movies. I know those droids are not shit against a Jedi Master or otherwise.
Yeah, but this one,
is this one special?
Those, well, and then like those droids that you're talking about are all like combat droids, and specific and more like purpose built for war and shit like that. The droid they leave him with is just a stupid prison droid and 2 other droids that are
it's more
literally
like a
chairs.
C-3PO, not a combat droid, but more just a robot
Yeah.
that does things. Moves
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
Okay.
Basically stuck with C-3PO. So like it's it's pretty bad, and it doesn't it makes sense just enough for the story to work. But if you just think about certain scenes or try to explain the whole plot, you just kind of stumble over yourselves in the way that I was doing. I was like, yeah, like this type of shit was happening, but this also kind of makes stupid points, and then another point happened, but then, when you look back one more scene before that, like, there's something sort of contradicts this. Like, it has a lot of those. It has a lot of modern plot holes in this respect. So you just kind of have to just overlook that and overlook like the small stuff that you don't want to deal with. That's why I started this when I was talking about it. Like, you have to be a nerd to like what you saw, because it's a lot more like nerd service than real story service. Because like the interesting parts in this show are all at the end. I mean, like, it's fun to see the stranger train wreck through 6 or 7 or 8 Jedi Masters and Knights and Padawans, just basically like goes through them all. It's kind of fun to watch a boatload of Jedi get massacred. The show does a good job about showing the Jedi's sort of arrogance, because like there's one scene where Trinity says, you cannot deny that the Jedi have the right to test potential Padawans, and then it flashes to the mother, and then it flashes back to Trinity, and then she says, with your permission,
Whoops.
of course. And you're just like, wait, what do you mean with your permission, of course? Why would you started that statement saying the Jedi have the right. You don't need permission for a right.
Yes.
A right is a right for a reason, because it's a power structure, because, you have the force to enforce it.
We have the inclination and ability to test if you give permission.
Yeah, exactly. But the way it was said and everything about it.
Here.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it out to hopefully get a better gun than last. Oh, well, okay.
Well,
A CZ-75 is better than a crossbow or a ballistics knife, so I will take it.
Oh, I am not excited about that.
Yikes. Well, it is only round 4. We can hold out.
Let's get downstairs and.
Or yeah, we can just go downstairs and get the MP40. Yeah.
And try the box again at a later date.
Yeah. So there are like those type of like really weird inconsistencies, and then there's also one of the like Osha and May are twins who were conceived without a father.
Oh, so force wielding, like baby, immaculate
By
conception shit.
Yes. By a
No.
They were created
I almost
by
made it out.
they were created by their leader, because they're from a coven of witches, which.
No, that's fine. It just sounds funny.
It does sound.
It tracks other Star Wars stuff. It just sounds funny sometimes.
Yeah, but like the unfortunate thing is they really did like that coven dirty.
Oh, really?
Because like there's this really stupid scene when like during a ceremony, and they all start chanting / singing the power of one, the power of two, the power of many, and you can't watch it without laughing because it just sounds dumb. Like, it just sounds dumb. You can't say those lines. Any actor can't say those lines without making it sound stupid. Like, certain things you just have to come up with a better idea than calling it, ooh, look, the thread, and having like a little shimmering light in between your hands and saying the power of one, the power of two, the power of many. Like, that's literally the chant. That's how it goes.
That's why you do that. You do that in like some kind of an ancient sounding language, a different made up language, so that the words don't matter as much as like the ominous incantation, the chant. That's why in Hot Fuzz, when they're speaking greater good in Latin, bonum commune communitatis, it sounds so much more threatening than whatever that would be in English.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
oh my god, come on.
Make up a language, use some pig Latin, or just make up some fake Latin, because no one will know and everyone will appreciate the sounding of it. So like the Coven of Witches was done very poorly and not correctly like explained, and they even they even like gave in the potential tie-in to the Night Sisters, which are another coven of witches, specifically in the Clone Wars, and have like a pretty big role in that in the Clone Wars. You know, Dooku makes a kind of like shadowy alliance with them. There's subterfuge, there's betrayal. They try to kill Dooku.
Wasn't
after
Asajj
Dooku
Ventress
tries
some sort of a witch?
Yep, she was a Night Sister taken away from her, taken away from her family, from Mother Talzin, way too young. So like they could have tied it into that, but they didn't. Even though one of the stupid like the Jedi Padawan, he's like, wait, like after he hears witches, he's like, wait, Night Sisters, but they don't actually say they're Night Sisters. So it's like a different coven. So like the magic doesn't really make sense. But like they should have just used the Night Sister analogy, and it would have been
into the lore.
Yeah, exactly. So and it would have been better. So you get a whole episode of like May and Osha when they're children, right about to go into the ceremony, and this is when like the Jedi discover them as like when they're 8 or 10. I don't know. They're pretty young, and at the end of that episode, the only 2 survivors of the coven are May and Osha. And you don't really know exactly what happened. All you know is that...
God, I'm so dumb right now. Just keep getting myself in dumb situations.
Like, all you know is that May started a fire, and then everyone's dead. That's... Oh. Yeah. Like, it's like... The fire also doesn't make sense. And... Because... Like, she sets a fire in concrete, basically. And you're like, how?
Dude, Force, come on, man, it's magic.
But it isn't.
There are no rules.
It's a lamp. It's like a lamp. She she burns a book and then somehow throws the lamp down, and like whatever oil is in that lamp is so combustible that it sets a whole fucking fortress that is all made of concrete on fire somehow. So like it really doesn't it doesn't
really doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly. So you really have to forgive that. I'm gonna do a side tangent though, because like this part like made no sense. So like whilst I was watching the Drinkers playlist on the Acolyte, because he does a episode by episode breakdown. I mean, like he's straight off the bat on like he's so freaking audience captured from the first moment of this of his review that you can just like it's palpable. But one of the real stupid things that he says is that the Coven of Witches are like it says it multiple times. It's like, yeah, like the lesbian communist Coven of Witches, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like lesbian, like maybe like there aren't men there, they're all women, but they're also witches. They're not like warlocks and shit like that. And also all the Night Sisters are all girls and women too and shit like that. So like I don't really know what the random lesbian shit is. And then I have really no idea why he fucking brought in communist crap to it, because like there's nothing about their commune. And yes, I'm calling it a commune on purpose because it's a collection of people all living in one isolated location on a deserted planet in the middle of bumfuck nowhere that the Jedi just happened to be there, you know, like studying the planet, because 100 years before the events of this show, that planet was categorized as lifeless, so now there's a buttload of life. So the Jedi are like, I kind of wonder what's going on. Let's go investigate this planet.
Are you not going to come get me?
I guess not. I didn't. No. I didn't realize you were dead.
Gee, so I didn't even say anything. I was like, he's got to be coming at some point. Like he hit the bomb.
No. I was so focused on being angry at Will that I didn't even think about coming to get you. Or I didn't even see. Like I saw the freaking revive sign. It just didn't. It was like 2 + 2 = 10. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. All right, well, it's just there. He'll be fine.
I know who I don't want watching my back when the zombie apocalypse happens.
Oh, shut up. I won't be talking about the Acolyte when the actual zombie apocalypse happened. I'll be fucking reloading and taking pot shots for fun. So, like, yeah, don't worry. I'm a great shot and a great backup until, you know, my modern medicine runs out, and then I'm just dead weight. Then you can leave me. Then you can just, you know, cut my Achilles tendon at the right opportune time and leave me as fodder as you escape.
Brutal.
Yeah,
all right,
it is brutal.
You to it.
But that's what I'm willing to do for my brother. But like so like I do not like get like why he brought in fuck that. Yeah, I do not
this
know why he brought in
lesbian coven thing. That's when you say he's audience captured, his videos are all seem to be I hate Hollywood because Hollywood hates men, and here are examples of why.
Yeah, because he kept saying like strong female character number one, strong female character number two, weak male character number one, and like there is a certain like truth to that. Like some of the male characters are extremely dumb, and I can understand his. The show did a good job of setting up his hatred of it, because all the people when you watch the audience, not the audience, the cast interviews, there's way too much like talk about like, oh yeah, I can bring in my gayness to the to playing a Jedi and shit like that, and like this is like how this will be like the queerest Star Wars ever. But when you watch it and you've never seen those interviews, you'd be like, I have no idea what the hell the drinker is talking about. But then you see those interviews and you're like, yeah, the cast themselves kind of shot themselves in the foot with this show, because why would you even want to bring in that type of identity politics, especially when the show really doesn't show it at all? I mean, there is some...
It's fine, whatever, but it's just funny to say this is the queerest one ever. Like, is it Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, or is it Star Wars? I mean, it's kind of weird to say, I can't wait to make the gayest Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make sense. So, So yeah, like he just like overly hateful of the Acolyte. And if you're talking about from a story point and continuity, I understand his criticisms, but a lot of what he's saying also is just hyperbolic, and you have to go looking for it. Like that communist shit. You have to want to find something to make you pissed off, to say, yes, these lesbian communist coven of witches are so stupid, they piss me off, and like the main woman, the main female version, like the main leader of the coven is, it's basically kind of like a Mary Sue, and like all these type of things, like she dies, and like there's too many mitigating circumstances to just have a blanket statement to say that this show is absolute ass and it's the death of Star Wars, which is basically the combination of his videos.
That's what he says about pretty much everything.
Everything.
Death of Marvel, the death of Hollywood, the death of Star Wars, the death of Star Trek, the death of the male model, the death of masculinity, I don't know. Yeah.
He parrots those points a lot.
Tiring.
Yeah, it does. And it's probably also like why I'm willing to defend the Acolyte a little bit more than I should, because I saw so many videos shitting on it, and after finally watching it, I mean, like it's pretty. I mean, for modern television, like I don't want to say it's brilliant, because it's not. There are many flaws, but for modern television, I have very, very limited criticisms in comparison to, like, if I just stack it up to episode 7, 8, and 9 of Star Wars, fuck me, it's a billion times better. At least the characters have some sort of depth, and there's like they try to put some nuance in it.
I assume.
Wait, what?
And some consistency and continuity, but across the episodes, because those movies, different writers, directors, and visions made it just a jumbled nightmare.
Yeah. There's more. Yeah, there's a little more consistency and continuity. I mean, like there's still plenty of breakage there that makes everything kind of confusing, but like. I definitely know what they were trying to do, at least with season 1, and then since it got canceled, well, like the show was doomed actually from the start, because the main characters are basically like like Osha and May are the main characters, and one of them is basically a light side user, and one of them is a dark side user. And it's all about the stranger trying to get an apprentice for himself to overthrow Plagueis, because that's just, that's the rule of two. That's the Sith are self-devouring. The apprentice will always want to become the master, but unless you're extremely powerful, and whilst the stranger is extremely powerful, he's not like Sidious powerful. You see him do plenty of things where, a better, more potent Force wielder would have been able to do more. But like it was doomed from the start because I think the Acolyte wanted to show like the failure of the Jedi, like their pomp and their circumstance, and how their religion and their dogma really does bite them in the ass many times, and how overzealotry to one's cause can be extremely self-deluding, and you have to have a pretty extraordinary character. I mean, like sense of character. I mean, character. Jesus, sense of self to be able to maintain yourself in such a situation. So like, there's that. But then they're also making the Sith way more sympathetic than they should be, and trying to paint the Sith as a potential like good story to follow. And if Acolyte had gotten to season 2, there's only one way that part of the dark side ends up in it. It's always in tragedy. There are very few Sith that I can actually name in any of the lore that don't end up dead by their pupils' hands or some like form of betrayal.
And that's the way it goes. That's the way their society, if you can call it a society, was supposed to be built, which doesn't make sense to me just because I don't know enough about the lore, I guess. But how a society can exist like that is...
Well...
And how can... There must be so many more dark side users that aren't in any way connected to the Sith.
Oh yeah, there are. Like the Sith are just one... Are
two people. Like they seem kind of like really these two people are enough to totally throw all the Jedi out of whack. Meanwhile, the potentially hundreds or thousands of other dark side Sith users aren't really given much mention at all in the movies. It's just sort of the Sith bad, Jedi good, even though there's only 2 of them and like at least dozens, if not hundreds or thousands of us.
Yeah. Well, for the other dark side wielders, let's put it to you this way: like, yeah, there are other dark side wielders in the galaxy. It's massive. I mean, like the Night Sisters are dark side or a force wielding cult that are, dark side adjacent. There are plenty of they're like dark Jedi.
Dude, what the heck? Today I just cannot play this game.
I also realized that I don't have Juggernog right now, which is kind of stupid. Oh, I'm so dead. Yep. Fuck me. I had enough money. I was hoping to be able to survive off of zombies and then off of the dogs and then get Juggernog.
Yeah.
Afterwards to save. Yeah, like goddamn. It's fucking rough. But like, so you have like the think about it this way. Like, yeah, there are other dark side wielders, but the Sith are the strongest of them. Like the pinnacle. To be a Sith, you have to be stronger than a Jedi Grandmaster. Like that. This is sort of like the power imbalance.
So is it sort of like all the Sith are like Yoda, that level, basically?
Well, sort of. Not like completely, but like sort of. Yeah. Like all the Sith are extremely powerful. And the reason there are only like the rule of 2 exists. So thousands of years before Sidious, you have a great civil war in the Sith Empire.
In the Sith War?
A civil war, yes, exactly. There's a civil war, because there are times where there is a Sith Empire, and like they sort of have like kind of like the way the Jedi do, where like they have temples and students come to learn, but it's all extremely treacherous and it's a good way of dying. And if you do rise up through the ranks, it's because you're extremely powerful and brutal and people are afraid to take you on. And if they do, you better be strong enough to kill them before they kill you. So there's all this like backstabbing. So this combinates thousands of years into a huge civil war that basically destroys every single Sith Lord except one, and that's Darth Bane. And out of the ruins of that civil war, Darth Bane creates the rule of 2, saying that there can only be a master and apprentice, because anything more than that, and the Sith will ultimately destroy themselves.
Okay, so they could theoretically have a Sith Empire again, just as long as it was ruled by only 2 Force wielders. Everyone else fucks off.
No, everyone else is either enslaved, captured, or dead.
Every other dark Sith wielder in their empire.
Yeah. Well, actually, a dark Sith... Yeah.
Force wielder. It just seems really impossible and unsustainable. I suppose I just need to suspend my disbelief a little bit. It's just, how could you have an empire if you... Like, do they want to have... They want to have an empire again, so this is like...
Well, not necessarily. Well, like
I'm thinking of, let's say, Palpatine and Vader, right? There you go, Master and Apprentice. The Empire is happening.
Yeah.
All the other Sith or not Sith users, the Force users in the galaxy are doing what at that point? Really, like this
They're
Empire
all
they have dominion over. Do they just go find? Is that part of Vader's job? Just go out and root him out early and just kill him?
Yes, actually, that's what Vader does at the beginning of the Empire. He goes around and finds all the remaining Jedi and kills them. Yeah, like there are many comic books where he goes from world to world, finding different Jedi Masters, striking them down, sometimes getting his ass beat doing it too. That's basically. And then there's also the Inquisitors who are like survivors of Anakin's attack on the Jedi Temple, or lower order Jedi who swore fealty or abandoned the order before Order 66 ever happened, and sort of became force like darker wielding force wielders in service of the Empire. Because like they won't necessarily, like if you're powerful enough to help them hunt down the Jedi but not powerful enough to actually threaten them, they will employ you as like an Inquisitor, and you will like be sort of a leader of like the ARC troopers or something like that, and you'll go around trying to find Jedi or go around different planets enforcing the Empire's will because you are a Force wielder, and that makes you stronger than everyone else, even though you're weak in comparison to Vader and Sidious.
So if you're weak enough, they keep you around. If you're strong enough, you get killed, basically, or cold.
Yeah, unless it's like the apprentice trying to like
find his apprentice,
recruiting an apprentice to help them take on the master.
Right.
Like Dooku takes on like Asajj Ventress at first as his Sith shadow, as his like Night Sister assassin who can use the Force, and then when she grows too powerful in the Force, Sidious orders Dooku to kill her. Dooku doesn't want to, but then Sidious is like, "Are you fucking trying to defy me?" And then Dooku's like, "All right, no, I'll kill her." Orders her execution. Ventress survives that, and then goes back to Dathomir, and then tries to kill Dooku in revenge, and then that spawns a whole other thing. But then afterwards, Dooku takes on a fallen Jedi by the name of Quinlan Vos, turns him to the dark side, and tries to, use him as his like shadow assassin again, and try to gain power so he can take over, the mantle from Sidious. But that one doesn't work because Asajj Ventress and Quinlan Vos have like this like love affair, and so Asajj and Obi-Wan go to save him. So that's a whole comic book arc right there.
Interesting team up.
It is actually, yeah. Those ones are kind of like, they poke holes in canon, but it's okay because it's more like legends at that point. That's the thing I love about Star Wars. Like, you have two concurrent running lore things going on. Like, you have canon where it is like that's all like Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy approved, depending on what timeline you're looking at. And then there's legends where it's all like the extra books and comic books that aren't technically canon but are part of the Star Wars universe. So you can sort of retcon the logistical and logic parts that don't fit, and be like, well, it doesn't really matter because it's legends, so it's a really cool story, and we're just not gonna think about it too much. I really like having both of those. But like, so like the Sith you'll always have like two as like a master and apprentice trying to, like, the master will obviously wants the Sith to continue and wants their apprentice to be the master, but they also don't want the apprentice to be the master because they're the master and they don't want to give up
even though they
power.
know the cycle is inevitable.
Yeah,
so it's just how long can we hold it off? Because once I'm replaced, that must mean that I wasn't strong enough anymore, and I should be taken down.
This is why the Sith are sort of have this interesting infatuation with immortality. Like the ancient Sith at the very beginning. We should probably get out of here. The ancient Sith or like the Dark Jedi who became the Sith in the unknown regions and everything, used to like craft Sith artifacts and lock their spirits in their tombs to achieve immortality. But it was a hollow immortality because they couldn't leave their tombs, and they were trapped, and people had to come to like worship them, and it wasn't really what they wanted. So by the end of the first Sith Empire, they stopped doing that, and then they started focusing on like other ways of of immortality, like essence transfer and consciousness transfer. And this is sort of like when this is when you start getting around like there are multiple Jedi who do this, but like you really get this around Tenebrous, Plagueis, and Sidious's timeline explain the best, because like Tenebrous starts is the Dark Lord of the Sith, but he's extremely he's not like it's not like he believes in the Force, but he approaches the Force in a real scientific way. So he doesn't actually like subscribe to the dogma and the kind of the hogwash,
the mysticism.
Yeah. So like he kind of writes off all of that and just looks at like the technology and like how to study the midichlorians and how he can use that to create, to transfer his essence into Plagueis. So like when Plagueis kills Tenebrous transfers his essence into Plagueis' midichlorians, only to realize that Plagueis also will fail in Tenebrous' original idea with the Chosen One and bringing his consciousness into Anakin and then being able to rule basically forever, because he'll be in he'll be in the most powerful Force wielder's body with his ability to change the midichlorians and basically like create immortality for himself. So then he realizes that Plagueis like doesn't succeed this, and then he escapes Plagueis' midichlorians and then suffers a fate worse than death, where he's basically always dying over and over and over again. And Plagueis himself wanted to transfer his essence into Anakin too.
I thought he ends up like making clones of himself at some point and coming back, and Luke ends up having to face him again.
That's a legend story of Sidious.
I feel like I remember that was a comic book or an audio book that I
had the audiobook version of it. Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah.
I haven't thought of that in a long time. I remember the voice actors weren't half bad. Like they sounded like almost like the real guys.
Yeah,
almost.
Though there are a couple of pretty egregious lines in it. Like I remember Han and a group of people were like fending off an AT, not an ATV,
AT-AT.
One of those, one of those walkers, from episode like 7 and episodes 5 and 6.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And Luke shows up at like the right time, and then like Force crushes one, and then like Han is like, wow, I didn't know you could do that, and then Luke's like, oh yeah, well watch this, and does some other kind of trippy shit, and it was kind of cringy the way it was written. It was like, all right, come on guys, you can make it sound a little bit better. You don't have to make it sound as corny.
Watch this.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So like that is like one thing. Like the clones of Sidious. That's like his way of trying to get immortality. So like the Sith are always like trying to gain immortality, so the Master never has to die. That's also like another one of their ultimate goals, and because they're obsessed with power, and they don't believe that, like, they think that this life is all there is. They don't actually believe that like the Force is broken up into two sections. There's the living Force, which in turn feeds the cosmic Force, which in turn feeds the living Force. So the living Force is us right now talking with our midichlorians, but that, when we die, feeds the cosmic Force. So it's basically just a metaphor for energy. It cannot be created or destroyed.
It just gets recycled. Okay.
Yeah, it just gets recycled. But the Sith don't believe that your spirit, as you are in the living Force, can continue on after you die. So that's why they're obsessed with the material realm and living forever. But some of the Jedi know, and some of the Jedi have been trained properly, only a few, to maintain a piece of their consciousness after death, so they can manifest themselves through the cosmic Force and
so you
talk
get those
to the
Force
living.
ghosts like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and Anakin and
but that's sort of like that's where like continuity sort of breaks, because that's like that all of the original Jedi are able to project a Force ghost, but then when Lucas expands the trilogy into more complex realms and a boatload of things happen in Legend, you then realize that not every Jedi, and actually very few Jedi, can do that, because like Qui-Gon says to Yoda when he's talking to Yoda on I forget what planet, but it's a Force Nexus. Yoda asks, "Why can't I see you?" And Qui-Gon responds that my training was incomplete, so all I can do is speak to you. And that's kind of a clue that like the Jedi's training is all of their Jedi training is 100% incomplete. So the reason why Yoda is able to manifest a Force ghost is because let's get Juggernaut. Is because he goes. I haven't. Okay, good. Because he goes to a special planet and learns the technique from people who are already dead and have already achieved immortality, and then he's able then to pass on a little extra knowledge to Qui-Gon, who then Qui-Gon is able to pass on a little extra knowledge to Obi-Wan, and that is why Obi-Wan is able to manifest a Force ghost. Anakin's Force ghost technically shouldn't be there, because after he dies, he kind of ascends to become like a Force god and is now like the Watcher of like the world in between worlds, and he's something else after his death. So like the fact that he's there is a little weird and shouldn't be, but that's because
that's because they changed the story after that story was written.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said like it breaks. Yeah, like you kind of have to like you break the continuity, but you accept the breaking continuity. Like, all right, fuck it, it's 4 timelines shoved into one timeline, and we're just gonna call it good. It's kind of like how Star Wars is.
They should just call the whole thing Legends. It makes more sense for anyway, because it's supposed to happen a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. So it's all Legends.
Yeah, it is all Legends.
So just call the whole thing Legends, and don't worry about continuity ever. Well, that would be really annoying. That's just way too much of a free pass not to ever think about what other people did before you. Continuity is important because it's the same story. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, I was carving my way through the floor. Or through the zombies, and just, couldn't do it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, but going back to Ahsoka, not Ahsoka, Jesus Christ. Because I was actually talking about Ahsoka, because that's where like Ahsoka is where the continuity breaks with Anakin after his death, because you get to see him in between the worlds and shit like that, and doing all his fun stuff. But like but back to Acolyte. So it all like culminates into the tragedy being you finally find out like why like her family, Osha and May's family, died, and it's because boring Asian Jedi he really wanted Osha to come with him to become a Jedi, to the point where he's kind of fixated on it. And in a moment of really bad decision-making, ends up killing Osha's mom. Whilst Osha's mom is trying to, like, stop everything from going down. She's, like, right about to use her magic force-wielding powers, and she's, like, starting to turn into a puff of black smoke. And then Asian Jedi looks at May, and she's also right about to, like, disappear into, like, the same black pitch. So then he ignites his saber and kills the mom. And that causes everything to go wrong. And then May and Osha are separated. Ooh, nice. And then like that, then the whole story goes on. So then at the very end, May and Osha like get reunited back on the home planet where Asian Jedi killed their mother. Osha finds out that her master is the one responsible for her mother's death, not her sister. She starts freaking out, and chokes Soul to death, or that's the Asian
Jedi's name.
The Asian Jedi's name. So she chokes Soul to death. She's holding a Jedi lightsaber with a blue kyber crystal. The kyber crystal starts bleeding as Osha starts using dark side energy, and bleeding means turning kyber crystal dark, so turning the blue crystal red, or turning a green crystal red, or a purple crystal red, whatever crystal you need to make the kyber crystal bleed and scream. So whilst she's using the dark side, the kyber crystal starts turning red, and then she ignites the lightsaber in a fit of rage when the stranger tries to comfort her, and it's still blue for the most part, and then you see the red finally take hold. And then her sister, seeing this, knows that she then needs to go with the stranger to train as a Sith Acolyte, because she wants what's best for her sister, and that makes sense. Let's go train with the Sith instead of let's train with the Jedi. But I mean, obviously the
Yeah.
Jedi wouldn't have accepted her because she just killed a master with the Force. So like they would have
There's no
locked her
comeback for
away.
that.
So like there's only one chance. I mean, she has to leave basically. But that's why I say like the story is flawed because the, no good can come up of like no good can come out of of Osha's story at that point because she's now turned to the dark. The dark side is ultimately self-defeating and is jealous and it is selfish. People don't really like Vader is one of the very few exceptions of a dark side wielder who is able to get back into the light. I mean, there are a few like Vader, Revan. There are a couple other Sith that I can think of right now that are able to more or less claw themselves back into the light side, but for the most part, like 99% of all Sith, like Yoda is a little dogmatic when he says, "Once you go down the dark path, forever will it be
Your destiny. Dominate your destiny.
yeah, it's like it's not quite as black and white as that, but it's pretty. It's like a 99% gradient of black with a 1% gradient of white. You have a chance of escaping that doom, but it's very unlikely. So there's no way in hell that Osha is going to be able to survive the dark force, like the dark side training and all it entails, and how much like just dickness and it's suffering and pain and envy and lust and like all the negative emotions churned into one that you're using to fuel your power. Ultimately, it's self-defeating and it's draining, and you will reach your peak. You'll reach your peak power very quickly, but you'll also fall extremely fast, and you won't be able to go any further really. So it's like it's a doomed show from the start, which is kind of why I'm glad that it didn't get a second season, because they would have had to try to retcon like, oh no, you can actually be like a good Sith Lord, and like honestly, you can't. I mean, you can be a neutral dark Force wielder,
Gray Jedi or whatever.
Yeah, like a gray, well, I'd actually say a gray Jedi is still a good Jedi. Gray is just more like Ahsoka is a gray Jedi in this respect, just kind of a crappy one.
Ooh, did you get a HK?
Yeah, I got an HK-21 for like
Nice.
about time I got a decent gun.
Right.
It's taken way too long.
Yeah, I got a foul, which is not ideal. Oh, and a teddy bear.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like so. In conclusion, after like rambling on for a while, like the Acolyte, there are plenty of problems, but there's enough nerd berries, there's enough Easter eggs, there's enough cool lore shit like the Kyber crystal bleeding, finally seeing Plagueis' face, having some kind of fun source battle, force wielding battles and some lightsaber battles, and like all that other type of nerd shit that just gets that part of the brain excited. I'm willing to forgive the rest of the show because it isn't as bad as everyone makes it out to be. And also, like, since I went into it with the impression of the drinker, like I watched,
it was gonna be terrible and super
yeah, like I had watched
whatever
his
people are bitching about these days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I'd watched it, like when his reaction when it came out, it stuck with me. I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be like a really gay. This is gonna be super woke. All the politics are gonna be in it. It's gonna be chief like 2020 like 3 or 2022 COVID wokeness. It's gonna be everywhere. I'm gonna get like sick and tired of it. I'm just gonna have to just stop watching after the first episode. And then I watch it. I'm just like, oh, actually no, it's just incredibly boring, but it's at least interesting enough for me to want to see what's going on. And then episodes 5, 6, 7, and 8 come along, and you're just like, all right, shit, now it's starting to pick up, and this is some cool stuff. Like there's still some problems. They take two whole episodes for callbacks. Like episodes 3 and 7 are callback episodes. So episodes 3, you see like what happens to the Coven from one point of view, and then episode 7, you see what happens to the Coven from 2 other points of view. So they take 2 whole episodes to give you like a detailed account of which I appreciate. It's one of the few times where jumping back and forth in time, I liked, because they did their due diligence in making it long enough and making it seem like they cared enough to give you enough backstory. Now, some of that backstory is rather weak, and there are plenty of holes in it too, but it's still 2 whole episodes out of 8 episodes that they're giving to you to the beginning of the story instead of like what is at the end of the story. So
this kind of sounds like to me like it's almost still a shame though that it's not. It's doomed, but at the same time, part of it is it's doomed because there are things that move slowly in it. that you appreciate that other people are not going to have an attention span for. It sort of makes me think a little bit of the criticism that people have been trying to leverage against Pluribus. Saying that nothing really seems to happen. It's too slow. There's too much background stuff going on. And I think that's a shame, because I think that show is great.
I mean, like, I wouldn't necessarily like that. It's not a quite the same sort of analogy. I mean, like it's a close enough analogy, but I would say that, like, Pluribus is just... It's a slow show, but, like, that's, like, the way it was, like, designed to be. The first 4.5 episodes of Acolyte feel like they had 2 episodes worth of content that they needed to stretch over 4.5.
Okay, that's a shame. So it almost has the opposite problem. Like, sometimes maybe they should have just made it as one of those, like, it's a limited series. We're gonna do 6 episodes. They're all gonna be great, and that's it.
Actually, yeah, 6 episodes would have been perfect. Yeah, like 4 episodes for like everything that's happening in real time, and then 2 episodes for what happened in the past. That would have worked a lot better than the 8 episodes that they went for. And not trying to think of this as a show, but as a limited series would have worked better too, because you could have ended it neatly, because you can't have, like, this. And that's also, like, another problem with the show, is that at this point the Sith are really quiet, and the Stranger basically just announces to the entire Republic, yeah, there's a Dark Force wielder around, and he's just murdered a boatload of Jedi, and we're just not going to do much about it. You know, like, the Sith need to be in secrecy. They work in secret. That's where their manipulation and their planning is best. That's how Plagueis and Sidious are able to, you know, come up with a plan to overcome a whole fucking empire and turn the whole galaxy against the Jedi in one fell swoop.
In the span of, I guess, a century. Right?
Yeah. Because, like, I mean, it isn't quite a century in this respect. I mean, like, I would say it's more within 15 to 20 years. Well, I mean, actually, no. If you want it to be, it's at least 30, because Palpatine is in the Senate, it's probably 30, what is he, 50-something, I think, when he ascends to the High Chancellery or something like that. So he's been in the Senate probably for at least, like, 20, 25, 30 years. Maybe a little less than that. I might be overestimating. But no, yeah, it's a couple decades that this plan is, like, in reality is taking place. And then the Clone Wars, however, like the 10 years or whatever that is, however long is, that's the real tipping point, when the galaxy just gets worn out of war and everyone is getting played against each other, even the Separatists and the oh shit, no.
Oh, no, that is no bueno.
Yeah, ran into a headlong thing. So yeah, like, it's not as good as the show as it should have been, but it is nowhere near as bad of a show as people online made it out to be. I mean, like, yeah, there are plenty of problems, and there's story plots and things like that, but if you're just watching it for fun and not trying to analyze everything, like certain people online or certain members of our family, or like us with Wheel of Time,
or Rings
of Power, like, it's definitely watchable, and I think it's better. Actually, no, it is better than Rings of Power.
Okay. Yeah, I would imagine if it were worse than Rings of Power, you've mentioned before that you think Rings of Power in some ways is the worst thing that television's ever produced. So you would have been pretty emphatic in your displeasure with the show had it been worse.
I'm gonna say second worst thing the television produced, because Willow exists.
Ooh, we need to get to that still.
Yeah, we definitely gotta watch the first few episodes of Willow, because, like, it's like Willow's just unbelievably bad. I threw a grenade, but it did.
We'll definitely have a happy leftover after all this.
Yeah. But that sums up a pretty good rant about Star Wars.
Yeah, not bad. I'm not sure if I want to watch it or not. I mean, I'll probably watch it. I'm not sure now, well, I guess here's a question: where does Star Trek or Star? I keep saying Star Trek. Gosh, where does Star Wars kind of go? Like, what is going to happen for the future? You know, they messed up the sequel trilogy, and you can't remake it. I mean, you can, I guess, but that you can't make it right now. You gotta wait, give it some time to redo something like that. And even if you want to,
yeah. And even if they remake it, they still have the problem of where does Star Wars go?
Yeah.
Because, well, okay, well, one arc that they are doing right now is the Ahsoka Thrawn arc. So, at the end of Rebels, which follows Ezra Bridger, his life after the Empire is established. So he's a young kid. He's like 10. No, he's not 10. He's like 15 years old. And so he's a young kid living on the planet Lothal, whilst the Empire is in, full swing, and Vader and the Inquisitors are hunting down rogue Jedi and shit like that. So he's a Force-sensitive kid who gets found by old Jedi, or an ex-Jedi Knight called Caleb Dune. That show ends with Grand Admiral Thrawn, who is basically the Matt of Star Wars.
Okay.
But softly spoken, smarter than Matt in everything else. You know, like Thrawn knows about like philosophy and art of like the individual planets he conquers and shit like that, and he uses it to deduce certain people who are in command or who he meets. Like he is like the ultimate tactician, basically. Thrawn gets sent to a different galaxy at the end of season 5. Ezra sacrifices himself, uses the space whales, which are quite literally, it's literally what it sounds like. They're space whales that can travel faster than light and know the secret ways between galaxies, basically. So he uses them to capture Thrawn in an Imperial Star Destroyer at the end battle of Lothal and sends him to another galaxy with himself. Now, Ahsoka, the live-action show, takes that plot up probably 10 years or so after that happens, when a old friend of Thrawn's finds a map leading the way to where Thrawn is, and just coincidentally, and it just happens to happen this way because the story is so brilliantly contrived and needs it to be this way, that there is an ancient map from an ancient sect of Night Sisters from a different galaxy that will lead Morgan Elsbeth exactly to where Thrawn is, because Thrawn just happened to get exiled to the exact location where this ancient sect of Night Sisters are, with an ancient map in the galaxy where Star Wars takes place to be found. So then all of these people can be found. Like the coincidences just run massively.
Just keep stacking up.
Yeah, for it to happen. So you kind of you're like, all right, yeah, well, whatever.
Really? Already?
Yikes.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty gay. So basically, the whole point of Ahsoka season 1 is to go to the other galaxy, stop Thrawn from returning to their galaxy, and return Ezra Bridger back to the galaxy where he should be, hailed as a hero. Obviously, none of that really works out well. Thrawn escapes his exile and returns to Ahsoka, and a couple other threads are left for season 2 to go on. Like Baylan Skoll is looking for, the ghosts of Mortis. Specifically, he's looking for Abeloth. Well, at least that's what everyone is assuming, but he's definitely looking for Abeloth for power greater than anything else. And then you don't really know exactly what the ancient sect of the Night Sisters wants to do. But so all that shit is going on. So Thrawn at the end of Ahsoka, and this is after the fall of the Republic, of the Empire, and the New Republic is established. Thrawn is now returned back to Star Wars land, and that's where they will be going next, because there's going to be a Thrawn movie. that will run concurrent with Ahsoka if they're still following that plan they set forth a few years ago. So there'll be a Thrawn movie, and then they'll finish up that arc however they want to finish up that arc. But after Thrawn gets defeated finally or whatever, at that point, then you're just going to have to, if you want to continue Star Wars, you're going to have to, like, jump forward in the future, or you should just jump forward in the future, and just start making new shit. And
Make,
stop
like,
relying...
new Republic, or new Empire, or whatever. It's a universe.
It's a
the
universe.
only thing that really you have to think about that unifies it is, okay, there may be some Jedi-type stuff, but there's definitely going to be Force-wielding stuff, right? That's just the religion of the universe, and it has midichlorians and shit, and it's real. So you have that, and that's about it. And, you know, the naming nomenclature, however you like to do those goofy names, keep that going, too. Just make it obvious it's in the same universe, but that's really it.
Yeah, pretty much. And since it is such a wide open universe, you don't have to have anything with the Jedi or the Sith. You can just do something in the unknown regions. You can do something in any other part of the galaxy where the Empire / Republic / whatever point of time you're talking about doesn't actually you can do anything. It's like it's a sandbox basically. It's open world. Have fun with it. Why are these writers and I know why, but like why are they so stuck in the same location with the same story with the same people and the same names when they have a whole universe to play with? It's kind of maddening.
I mean, we all know why. That's the frustrating thing too. It's because writers, producers think that audiences only want to see remakes. They only want to take the safe bet and use established characters or established themes where there's already a built-in fan base or user group. And it's kind of lame because when you think about it, those stories had to be original at some point for there to be a user group. Now I'm not going to say that space opera or time travel or any convention is unique to a story, but Star Wars was pretty new and fresh, and those characters were new. The necessity to hang on to Luke and Anakin and Obi-Wan and Yoda through every other following iteration is annoying. Star Trek has the same problem. The desire to hang on to Kirk, Spock, Picard, Worf, these guys are... Yeah, it's been played out, and we're afraid to move on to new characters and new stories. And it's not like you and I are afraid. It's studios, producers are just convinced that that's the easy way to do it. That attacking a ready-made fan base is the way to go.
Yeah.
And if that means callbacks, remakes, sequels, prequels, etc., as long as you tie it into the original, they're happy. Which sucks. Because we never really get anything new. And then when we do get new stuff, it seems to not do very well.
Like here's an example of something that was new, but existed in the old, but managed to be unique and brilliant. Rogue One.
Yeah.
It's in between. It's the prequel to Episode 4. Like, you always wondered, how did she get the Death Star plans? All right, great. Rogue One explains it. It's a great story. You're really interested in everything that's going on. It's funny, and it has the wherewithal and sense to end as Empire Strikes Back did on a tragedy.
Recreating that opening scene to A New Hope with Vader and everything was awesome. That was such a cool scene.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like that's some fun shit right there. So like when you do it well and for a very specific reason, like how did Leia get the transmission data? All right, cool. Why was there a weak spot? All right, cool. Well, I mean, like, you don't necessarily need to, I mean, everything has a weak spot. Like the fact that they needed to build in a weak spot to the Death Star is kind of stupid because, I mean, well, there's no such thing as an infallible weapon or infallible anything.
Well, it's not so much they built one in; it's just that they discovered He
made it like extra, like special. Be like, hit this and you'll destroy everything, instead of like hit these 5,000 different locations and you'll destroy everything.
Yeah,
he made it
funny.
easy. Yeah.
It's the Family Guy joke. Hit this one spot and win the game.
Yeah, exactly. Or in the same respect, like, hold your fire. There are no life forms aboard. Hold your fire. What are we, saving money? You don't do the budget, Dave or Steve or whatever name.
It's true. That kind of stuff is done. It's empty. Hold your fire. Okay. Why would you just shoot everything that flies out of here? Droids exist. We know that.
Well, because a droid is useful. A person is just fun to kill. And it's also, it's a sinister line, too, actually, because the implication is we will fire if there's a person there. But if there's not, we don't give a shit. So it paints the Empire in a way more nasty light. I mean, this is actually one of those funny things, like when I was, I actually just recently watched A New Hope. And, I mean, like, Lucas does nothing to give any redeeming factors to the Empire. I kind of like it. It's just like, nope, they are straight up assholes, murderers. They will burn your whole family alive.
They
will
blow
slaughter
up the entire not city, gosh, planet of
Alderaan.
Alderaan.
We will annihilate a whole planet
without really and thinking about it at all. In fact, we're gonna lie about doing it beforehand, and then we're still gonna do it. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, she's like, you're far too trusting.
Yeah. Which apparently she was. Although she still gave the wrong answer up, so no.
Well, she gave the right answer. Well, gave a right and wrong answer. You know, she Aes Sedai'd it up because he didn't. It
was the abandoned
Tarkin didn't
place.
say where is the rebel base at this exact moment. She said where is the location of the rebel base. Didn't say what time rebel base. So she gave him a rebel base that's just decommissioned. So she is the true. You know, she's the true inheritor of the three oaths.
Towing the line as to what is truth and what is truth adjacent.
Yeah.
Ooh, I timed it perfectly. I was able to get not perfectly, almost perfectly, one of my two down before the round started.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the same question about Star Trek. Where is it going to go from here? You know, Strange New Worlds is ending. They already canceled Lower Decks. Prodigy isn't coming back, obviously.
Starfleet Academy is going to fail.
Yeah. Well, I guess we don't know that for sure. It is in the future, at least. But once again,
no, we do.
They're getting sucked into we're using old characters again. Even if it's only a couple. Robert Picardo as the Doctor reprising his role is enough of a callback there to make my point still valid. Yeah. Lower Decks was fun. I get it couldn't go on forever, but it kind of could have, I guess. It's a sitcom about you know, and you don't have to have them all like. It doesn't have to be linear. It can just be time on the ship, things happening. They can stay ensigns or lieutenants forever and ever. It's just, oh yeah, this is just a year in the life of an ensign, basically. But it's not to be. They canceled that. And then Tawny Newsome was thinking about doing something else with Star Trek, but I'm not sure if that ever went anywhere. Now we have Starfleet Academy, which is, who knows what that's going to end up being like.
Yeah, I see more potential for her growth and story in Star Wars than I do in Star Trek. Because, like, Star Trek is a harder one to keep, like, fresh. Because you can... I mean, I guess you can bring in new aliens or some shit like that, but so long as there are humans and, like, just the way we are, you know, I mean, like, every kind of, like, trope that exists, I feel Star Trek is really done. And
yeah, I sometimes get the notion that Star Trek doesn't know what to do with itself, and even the original premise that Gene Roddenberry set out to put isn't even really happening right now. When you think about exploration, wagon train to the stars, meeting new things, new life, new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before, I don't see that happening in Star Trek very much anymore. How is Starfleet Academy going to be exploring new places? How did Strange New Worlds really do that too? I mean,
it didn't.
Strange New Worlds didn't have a ton about exploring new places and new things and new people, even though it should have been a more of that. It should have been more, maybe Monster of the Week. It should have been, a little more hopeful too. Because that's what a modern TV, but modern Star Trek, let's say, is missing, is that unbridled optimism for the future. It's cynical. Star Trek is cynical, and I don't think Star Trek should be cynical.
Yeah. Definitely not. No, yeah, it should be a lot more bright.
The place for Star Trek cynicism is the alternate universes they show us. The alternate reality is where the mirror universe happens all the time, and you see evil Spock, and evil Picard, or evil archer.
Kira.
Yeah, that stuff's awesome. That's where you show the cynical, the flip side of stuff, the dark side of humanity. Or you want to be cynical, you show a potential path that humanity could have evolved down when you look in alien civilization. That's how you do good sci-fi in Star Trek, and you add the self-reflection to it. Instead, it's far too... You know what it is? It's too human-centric. It's too human problems and human solving human problems, rather it being human problems as seen in other species.
Mm-hmm. Or just a boatload of like interpersonal drama that doesn't really bring anything to the story.
So yeah, human problems, interpersonal drama. Now, let's say you have human problems, but in a alien culture. When I say human problems, like, okay, you're getting to this place and they are pettily bickering about resources, or they are
they've been at war with each other for 500 years, and their solution is just to kill each other in suicide booths as casualty reports.
I'm dead. I got stuck in a corner. Oh wow, I survived. Yes, exactly. But instead, yeah, it's too cynical and it's too human centric. The problems are too human, and they're too political or too social justice oriented. And now, don't get me wrong. Portraying a diverse crew, I have nothing against. That's one of the hallmarks of Star Trek. If you don't like that, you don't like Star Trek, in my opinion. What I have opinion is making it such a big point of conflict in the show. Why is it not even a point of conflict, a point of emphasis? Calling attention to it doesn't matter. How often did they call attention to the fact that Nichelle Nichols was a female or black?
Very few.
Never. It's never like, oh my god.
Never. You're right.
She's just another crew member on the bridge, another officer on the bridge. It's never talked about her being black.
Or having a stupid stop story with all her fucking family dying in a shuttle accident.
Yeah, but all those things have to be portrayed in
Strange New Worlds.
And so that makes it too human centric. Portray that stuff in the aliens. You may not like the episode where you have the two races where the black and the white sides of their faces are mirrored and they hate each other, but that is exactly how Star Trek does racism. It doesn't show it in humanity because we moved past it. It shows examples of what we're better than in other species.
Yep. And then another good example of this, but like making it way too human centric, is in season 3 of season 4 of Strange New Worlds, whichever Trelane episode.
Yeah.
Trelane is like in OG, he's he's kind of a child. He's curious about human.
I don't wanna, or like the last fade away line, right, for that episode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's curious about like the culture. He thinks that we're still all sea vessel faring and shit like that. Napoleon is still on the throne. Yeah, exactly. So and he captures the crew to study them, to have fun with them, to play with them. Even to the point where he gets drawn into a duel with, a mortal duel with the captain. So it's all about like him trying to like understand humanity and have fun with it.
And I also don't think he even really comprehends like what death is. He doesn't think that they're like dying. Like,
I don't think he gets it,
but doesn't he's a child.
Yeah, he's a child. He just doesn't comprehend exactly what's going on. But in Strange New Worlds, he takes the guise of a bartender and is watching Spock watch Christine and Corby on the Enterprise before their wedding. And then Spock whispers something like, "Oh, I wish she was marrying me," or something akin to that. And then Trelane is like, "All right, cool, deal. Let's change everything and make you marry Corby instead of Corby." And Spock and Corby are the only two people who know that something is that something is wrong. And every time they try to fix it, Trelane intervenes and stops it from unraveling. And all he wants is for them to get married. That's the whole point of the episode, basically. It's his childish nature and him trying to get them to get married. But no, not trying to figure out what this interesting part of humanity is, not trying to figure out why does one person love one person. Even something as basic as that. It's just nope, he said it and I'm going to be a genie and grant his wish. And that's the whole fucking episode. And it was just such a missed opportunity because I was expecting something a lot more Trelane-y, QE, whatever, like you want to, something a lot more like.
And also,
fun
why do
and
we
interesting.
have another Trelane episode before Trelane meets Kirk? Then Trelane would already know everything about these people.
Yeah, that's the other problem with that episode too.
And again, it's another thing. Like, okay, we don't know
continuity.
We don't have any goddamn episode or story ideas of our own, so we're just gonna rip off OG episodes and kind of ruin continuity because we're too lazy to write our own stories. It's
that brings me to the Gorn.
lazy.
Yeah, that brings me to the Gorn. Strange New Worlds introduces the Gorn way earlier than TOS introduces them, and then there's suddenly these like hyper predators, like ingenious level cold reptilian lizards who have a space god prophecy that is embedded in their DNA, so fucking Pike's girlfriend can become a time lord, basically. It's so stupid.
Yeah, I really dislike that kind of stuff. And there are enemies aplenty without creating, like, with taking the original ones and changing where you met them and how they are. And it's okay not to really, like, worry about who the Gorn are. Screw it. I don't really care.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't really matter too much. You already have, like, what about the Romulan War?
That's what I was right about to say.
Why
the
do
fuck
that? The biggest missed opportunity. It's the biggest war of Star Trek, like, history that is never explored. If you want to do it, do that. If you want a through story, do that.
Yeah.
And also, the notion of giving Pike foreknowledge and forewarning of his
impending
fate
death
is terrible and dumb too. Why would you do that? I never got the impression for a single second that Pike had any idea what was going to happen to him.
No.
In the cage.
No. No, definitely not. That was not how that episode was written. That was some retconning that sort of works.
It's just frustrating when they do this kind of stuff, and we want new stuff. We want new stories. And as soon as we start getting some new stories, it seems to get shut down.
Yeah.
And then when we do get a new story, everyone latches onto it and runs with it until it's beaten to death. Like, I was thinking about what you said about Knives Out. You know, you hope that it doesn't come back. And initially I was like, no, this was dope. I want more of it. Now I'm like, oh, God, but what if they just do that to it? And then we have, like, 14 Knives Out movies, and there's only, like, 3 of them that are good, and we just stop caring about them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of my fear, too. Like, I wouldn't, I mean, like, whilst I do stand by my comment saying that they shouldn't make another Knives Out movie, I would be willing to let them go for one more. But, like, after 4, definitely end. Because, you know, like, things work best in trilogies. I mean, like, and especially because, like, Knives Out, like, you know, like, the first one, really, really, really good. Like, the perfect introduction to Knives Out, excellent. The second one, really, really, really forgettable. It's sad. The third one, excellent. And I mean, like, I said this in our other video, I think it's better than the first one. And to end on a high would be really cool. But if you could get, like, a 4th one and do a 4th one really well, that would also be cool. The reason I'm hesitant is that things usually tend to work well in 3s, and as soon as you go to a 4th, you just kind of, like, screw the pooch. You know, the Bourne movies are a great example. Bourne 1, 2, and 3, great. Bourne 4, 5, and I think they made a 6th one also. Fucking awful.
Yeah, they had one with Gerard Butler. They had some Bourne Legacy thing. Or not Gerard Butler. Excuse me, Jeremy Renner. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bourne Legacy, and even the
he returns.
And actually, the Bourne Identity is a good example of someone just taking some names, and that's basically it. And then running with their own IP.
Like Robert Ludlum's fucking novel does not get reflected in that movie.
It has basically nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
Except for the names, like Thomas Webb and Jason Bourne. That's literally it.
Yeah.
So yes, Hollywood. We'd love some new ideas. And this extends beyond that. Think about Call of Duty. You know, we were talking yesterday, like, should we, like, it'd be kind of fun to play a new Zombies and new Call of Duties. We're so far behind on the IP, and we haven't played one since, like, for me, it's, like, Black Ops 4, maybe. I don't think I've played anything past that. Or maybe I played the World War II. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you have, because I remember you got the campaign.
And I was playing the tank level, and I fucking hate it, and I keep getting stuck on it, and I rage quit, and I haven't picked it back up again since. So I didn't get very far in it, but whatever, I didn't pay for it.
Yes, it was a gift.
Yes, exactly. So maybe I'll revisit it. But still, that doesn't let me play any. There's no zombies or anything in there. So if we wanted to play new ones, it'd be so expensive. It'd be like $60 for the base game plus so many dollars for all the DLC
And
to
so
play
much
them.
hard drive space.
And would it even be worth it? Would it be fun?
No.
So leave it in the comments, guys, if you think that it's worth getting some of the new stuff and playing it. If we could have fun doing it, or if we'll just be disappointed and end up falling back to this or World at War again.
Yeah, I wonder. And then also, I mean, like, there's so many opportunities to do other things in Call of Duty. I mean, like, we had this conversation way earlier in this channel and shit like that, but pretty much most of World War II is not shown in any of the video games. So there is a lot of World War II playage that you could have fun on.
Yeah. Ooh, finally a ray gun.
Ooh, nice.
No, what do I do? Okay, take that one. Now if I die, I have a Galil and a ray gun. And then I go and replace my F and FAL with the STG again. We haven't gotten to max ammo for this in such a long time.
Yeah, like, I haven't used my HK-21 in a while, because I don't have ammo for it. I've just been STGing it up.
What am I doing?
And the STG does not work well anymore. It's around 19.
No, around 19.
Basic. Ooh, shit. Ooh, I gotta drop water so bad.
Well, on that uplifting note, boys and girls, and everything in between. Thanks so much for tuning in. Fucking freaking go Broncos. I'm excited to watch the wild card weekend and see where it ends up leading and who we'll end up facing. And I'm sure at some point we'll do a video about the season leading into the playoffs and how we think the playoffs are going to roll. Probably after we know who we're going to play in the divisional round.
Yeah, definitely.
That being said, we're going to commit suicide here. We can't say that on YouTube, can we? Shoot. No.
We will perform ritual seppuku zombie style.
Yes, we will. We will have one last stand against the zombies.
Banzai!
We will scream and rage against the dying of the light, as we always have and always will.
I will
inevitably,
we
we won't survive.
Inevitably. Though you have a better chance
I
of
am
surviving
inevitable.
with that. Yes, Thanos.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Indeed.